Okay, hello guys. Welcome to our second live Q&A together, Hyunwoo and Cassie.
Yes.
I'm checking
everything working?
whether this is working or not. And I don't know if you can hear us already or not, but I hope it works. I think it's working.
Seems to be working.
Yeah, it seems like it's working. So thanks for joining us. And this is an opportunity for you to ask us questions in real time, and also we can answer some of your questions in real time.
Yes.
Okay, so a lot of hellos going up.
Hello everyone.
Like crazy.
Hello.
So last time, as you've noticed, there were too many, I guess, repeated comments.
Right.
Of course, we get it. I mean, of course, we want to answer as many questions as possible, and of course, you want your questions to be answered. So there were some spammers,
Right.
and we wanted to prevent that by making the chat boxes a little smaller, and we will actually look at the chat box while scrolling through everything. So we will be able to read everything, and we will be reading some comments on our phones.
Yes, we've got our phones here.
Did you find it?
I'm trying to find the live stream at the
Yeah.
moment, and I am not seeing it. So
I see it here.
I guess we have to wait.
Yeah, I
don't
see it
know.
here.
You see it?
Yeah, so
It's not showing on mine. I'm
here,
not sure.
go to our channel. So if you have your YouTube app, you can also watch us on your phone.
Do
And
that.
oh, you
Good
see
to talk
here?
to me in Korean.
So I'll be.
And here it is.
Yeah. So
at the
we'll be
top.
looking at our phones, and we'll be also featuring some comments like this. Actually, you know what? Can we get rid of the comments box here, or move it to the
Maybe
side?
yeah, move it to the side. Make it
Okay.
smaller, or
Okay.
move it to the side.
Yeah, we'll make it smaller. There you go. So I guess I don't know if it's showing in real time. So we haven't answered. Okay, it's showing in real time.
There
So
we go.
we haven't answered any questions, but we will start
Yes.
right now.
Right now.
Okay. So let's find the first question to answer.
First question. We're still getting a lot of hellos though.
Yeah. So please let us know, where are you watching, and we would love to know, because last time it was 4 p.m. Korean time. This is
Yes.
3 p.m. Korean
3
time.
p.m.
Slightly different.
Yes. This actually, that's our first question.
Okay.
Isn't it like 3 p.m. there? Yes, it is
Okay.
3 p.m.
Well, normally when someone asks, isn't it like so and so, it's usually about early in the morning.
Yes.
But yeah, still, that's good. Okay, and the first question is Tasky World, or Task III World. Where can I buy your books in Seoul? You can go to Kyobo bookstore or Yeongpung bookstore, any major bookstore that has a dedicated Korea or books on Korea section.
Mhm.
You can buy our books there, and also you can buy our books at the You Are Here Cafe in
Yes.
Hapjeong.
Hapjeong.
Okay?
For those of you that don't know, it moved.
Yeah, it
A while
moved
ago.
from Hongdae to
Yes.
Hapjeong. Okay, please pick a
Let's
question. Oh, hello from Brazil, hello from USA, a lot of just highs, hello from Texas.
Oh, I like this question.
Okay,
This is Oh Sehun, my bias.
that's a question?
No, that's the person's name.
Okay.
The username. So can you please tell me the difference between O and O?
O and O. So pronunciation.
Yes.
Okay,
So
you take it away.
As you just saw, O, it comes from the back of your throat here.
Mhm.
It's kind of like an O, but if we're going by English, it's kind of a mix between an O and a U, and it comes in the very back of your throat. So
Mhm.
O.
Ah,
And then O is more in the front of your mouth.
that's right.
And you make an O with your mouth. So
Yeah,
O.
yeah. O and A.
Mhm.
And O, since it exists in English too, it's super easy for you to
Yes.
figure out O,
O.
but A is more like the A from
Right.
or the A from earth.
Yeah,
right?
earth, similar
Yeah.
similar sort of mouth shape.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's more A from
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. And Anais, bonjour. And Angel Chansa, fly, hi from California. And I think there are some Korean
A
people.
lot of hi.
Yeah. 안녕하세요. 한국 분들이 보고 계시면 네, 또 한국어로 인사 남겨주세요. 반갑습니다. Okay, so let's find and Pastel Babel says, can I see my comment? Yes, I can see your comment too. I hope you can see your comment as well. And Goblin's Bride.
Goblin's Bride.
Mhm.
Ah,
Before the drama 도깨비, I think Bride wouldn't have been such a popular nickname.
Yeah, probably not.
But now it is popular.
Yes.
What does 바로 literally mean? 바로.
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 So, okay.
Literally.
Yeah, 바로. Can you see here? 바로. Where's yeah, 바로. Yeah, 바로. What does 바로 mean?
바로. It means like this is very difficult for me to explain.
Okay.
It actually took me a while to understand 바로 as
So
well.
what are some examples
So,
where you can use 바로?
바로 여기 있어요.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like saying right. It's right here.
Yeah.
But there's also the times where people say like 바로 이거다. Like
yeah.
that.
바로 has so many usages.
Yeah.
So 바로 여기 있어요. It's right here. It's none other than this.
Yeah, none other than
none
this.
other than.
Yeah.
So the person who moved my cheese is
none
other than Cassie. 바로 Cassie예요.
It probably was me. I really like cheese.
Yeah, you didn't eat it. You just moved it.
Yeah.
It's a popular. It's a famous book.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, Who Moved
I've
My
never heard
Cheese?
of that.
It's one of the top sellers in Korea.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
It
Hey,
was-
book recommendation, you guys. A lot of
No.
people ask what books to read.
No.
Read that one.
It's not even a Korean book.
Oh, it's not?
It became it got translated into Korean. 누가 내 치즈를 옮겼을까? But it's a very famous book all around the world. Anyway,
Yes.
so 바로. And also 집으로 바로 오세요.
Come right home.
Right home, directly home.
Directly.
So 바로 can mean directly or in person. You do it yourself, and something's right there, and also it's none other than. So all of these meanings all have in common the meaning that it's directly straight to the point.
Yeah.
No detours.
Right.
Okay. All right. So many meaningful questions. How to pronounce 학교? Okay, it's here at the top. It's written like this. 학교. How to pronounce it? 학교.
학교.
학교. Okay.
Yes.
And then okay. Oh, let me scroll down a little bit. The V production says, "Can I buy your books in the Philippines?" Depends on where you go. If you go to a really big bookstore, they might have some of our books. But the best way to ensure that your local bookstore carries our books is to ask for them.
Right.
Just tell them, I want these books. They want to do business with you, the customer, so they will prepare the book. Okay? Yeah. All right. The next one?
What's the best way to study a language?
What's the best way to study a language? I think we actually talked about something similar in the previous chat
Yeah.
regarding how you learned Korean.
Yes.
If you want to know about how Cassie learned Korean, please watch our previous episode of live Q&A. Best way? There's no best way.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem, and that's the fun
Yes.
part. You just have to have what you want to say. Yeah.
It's up to you. You've got to find the best way for you. So
Yeah.
experiment.
But speaking of experiments, I do recommend that you try various methods and just don't fall for one thing and try to stick with it for the rest of your life, because it might be too late when you realize that it wasn't the perfect method for you. So try maybe 100 different methods. And even if we say something about a good way to study Korean, it's not the best for anyone.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Colleen asks, what does 세요 mean? It's on the top line here. What does 세요 mean? Exactly like 누구세요, 괜찮으세요, 안녕하세요, 주세요. I think you can explain that.
Seo it's very formal language. So usually when you're speaking to someone that you want to respect,
Yeah.
it's the ending. So it can be used in both a statement or a question form, just like, any other, what am I trying to say? Sentence ending.
Yeah.
So I like to Hyunwoo, I usually say, I usually use 세요 because he's my boss and I very much respect him.
Thank you.
Yes.
Good to know. Good.
Yeah.
Very relieved to know. So 세요, it's very polite and it comes from she.
Yes.
She, the suffix she. So 안녕하세요. There's a way to actually get rid of the 세 part. Like instead of saying 앉으세요, you say 앉아요. That's
Yes.
still formal,
Still formal, yeah.
but less formal, less polite.
Yes.
Yeah. So 세요.
So it was very, like a very, very polite.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
polite and formal. Okay. And here, Abby C. When and how do you use 꼭?
꼭.
꼭.
꼭 is kind of like must, or you really should. So 꼭 해야 돼요. Like
꼭.
you absolutely must do this.
That's right. Good
Yes.
example. If you just say 해야 돼요, it already means I must do it, I have to do it. But when you say 꼭, it's like you can't not do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely must.
Yeah, and 꼭 has other usages too. So for example, your ring fits you perfectly, or your clothes fits you tightly but perfectly well. It's 꼭 맞아요. 꼭. Yeah, 꼭. And also you can say 꼭 누르다.
Oh, right.
꾹 or 꼭 누르다.
꼭.
Like press
Very
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. So many usages, but I think the first thing that you mentioned is the most versatile one. You can put it in any sentence. 꼭 가야 돼요? Do you really have to go?
Really have to go?
Yeah. 꼭 오세요. Make sure you come, or stuff like that.
Yes.
Okay, and Arjun Moore says, 현우, can you speak 사투리?
사투리.
Can you speak some Korean 사투리 dialects?
What was it? Now that I'm on the spot.
Okay.
Like usually, where is it that adds like day to the end of everything?
부산.
좋은데.
좋은데. 좋은데.
좋은데.
Yeah.
That's it. 좋은데.
Yeah.
할렐라에. Like, do you remember that comedy skit? There was a comedy skit in Korea a while back, several years ago.
Okay.
Where what's the guy? His last name is Harley. And he speaks. He's a foreigner, but he speaks in, I think it's Busan 사투리. And so he became very popular, very famous.
Yeah.
And a comedy skit took his name, like, and his 사투리, the satori that he used. And the girl would always come out and pretend to be riding a Harley Davidson, right? And she would go 할리라해, which in 사투리 it means like I am. I am Harley. But the way she did it just made it sound like sounds, like 할리라해.
I see. Yeah. 라예 or 예, or 대예. Those are common sentence endings in the Busan dialect.
Yes.
And I'm from Gwangju, and I understand everything, but I kind of lost touch with the actual dialect. But to give you some examples, you know the word 어디?
어디?
어디 is where, and what's somewhere in Korean?
Somewhere?
Yeah.
어디?
어딘가.
어딘가.
Yeah, 어딘가. 어딘가 is somewhere. There are other ways to say it. But my sister, who is still living in, one of my sisters is living in Gwangju still, and she texts me, 오빠 어딘가? What does it mean? If you just look at it from a Seoul dialect speaker's point of view.
오빠 어딘가?
Yeah, what does it mean?
Where are you?
Yeah, but it's not supposed to be read like that.
It's not supposed to be read like that?
Yeah, 오빠 어딘가 literally means 오빠 somewhere. Right?
오빠 somewhere, yeah.
오빠 somewhere, but that's not what she means. She means, where are you?
Yeah.
You guessed the meaning correctly, but you have to read it like, 오빠 어딘가? The intonation is different.
오빠 어딘가?
오빠 어딘가? So I do understand 100% of the Gwangju 전라도 dialect because I grew up there, and I do understand like 90% of the Busan dialect because all my relatives are from Busan, but I don't speak any of them fluently.
I remember one that Hugh taught me. It's 가가. Is that
the
person?
same person that we talked about? Yeah. So yeah, it's a classic example, and I think we have I know we have some Gyeongsang province dialect lessons done by Seokjin. So please type in dialect on the search bar on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/talktomeinkorean. Okay. All right. So please, more questions. so many comments. Thank you. We do try, please think of a question. We do try to answer as many questions as possible, but if we don't get to see your comment or if we don't get to actually answer your question, we're sorry, but we will try to answer that next time. Okay. I will. Yeah.
I lost it. Here it is. Hey, stop it says, how can I improve my accent? Or like, I also saw many questions asking, how can I improve my pronunciation?
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your tips for it?
Accent. I think you just have to try to mimic native speakers as much as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Think of yourself as a comedian trying to, what do you call it? In Korean, we say 성대모사.
성대모사?
Yeah, just imitating someone.
Mimic?
Yeah, mimicking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mimic.
So imagine. So there are tons of people who can perfectly talk like Obama, who can imitate certain like celebrities really really well.
Maybe impersonate.
Impersonate. Yeah, impersonation. I think. Do that, and that helps a lot.
Yes.
Maybe you can mimic a friend of yours. Maybe you can mimic Kyungeun. Maybe you can mimic Seokjin, Juyeon, Kyunghwa, or Cassie. And try to sound like that person word for word or sound for sound, syllable for syllable.
That's actually how I improved my pronunciation in Korean.
Yeah.
Like a long time ago at Korean Class 101, at the beginning, you would say like, 한국어 공부 시간입니다. And when I was first learning, I kept constantly repeating that because I wanted to learn it.
Yeah. And
also,
I mean, if you think about it, kids learn their mother tongue that way all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Kids all around the world, and you guys also have learned your first language like that, like mimicking what your parents say in the exact same intonation that they do. So that's why you speak the same kind of dialect as the dialect that your parents speak. So mimic all the time.
Yes.
If you find yourself sounding like your own, I guess, it's speaking with your own accent, pick someone to benchmark and just go after that person's accent, okay?
Yes.
All right. And okay, Nicole says, Hola, I have your book, Talk to Me in Korean Level 1, and I was just wondering how much Korean I'll learn from it. Like, will I be able to have conversations after studying the whole book? Also, how many levels are there? There are 10 levels in total, and if you study with our Level 1 book, if you finish it, if you actually solve all the exercise questions there, and if you remember everything, you will be able to hold short conversations because Level 1 and 2 together, they cover most fundamental tenses like present tense, past tense, future tense, negation, like saying I don't, I can't, things like that. You also learn how to say I can do something, I want to do something. So those are the fundamental building blocks. So you can actually speak a lot. The only thing that's probably missing is vocabulary. So you need to learn vocabulary words and also look up the dictionary as often as possible.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so you will actually learn a lot.
I found one. I really like this one.
Yeah.
Melissa Kuyambao. I'm sorry for my terrible pronunciation. She asks, can you explain 딸 바보?
딸 바보.
Yes.
Oh, okay. You can explain.
Yes. 딸 바보. So 딸 means daughter.
Yeah.
And 바보 means like idiot. So a daughter idiot is a father who really loves his daughter or daughters.
Yeah.
So he just dotes on her all the time.
Yeah.
He's to the point that it's almost stupid.
Yeah. There's this song title or term, loveful.
Loveful?
Yeah. I think it's no. I don't think it's a Korean song. I just know the title, loveful. And you're just a fool when it comes to love. Your logical thinking goes away.
Yes.
And you are just like, head over heels in love with that person. So it's exactly the same with 딸 바보, 아들 바보. For some reason, it's usually guys who are 딸 babos, not moms.
Yes.
In most people's perception. And 아들 바보 is usually like moms.
The moms.
Yeah. So whatever your 딸 or 아들, daughter or son says or does, you're like, oh, everything's so adorable. Oh, you broke that glass. Oh, how adorable. It's crazy.
Yes.
Oh, you want that $1,000 doll. Okay, I will, borrow some money and buy that. So
Yeah.
sometimes irrational behaviors happen.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And we also have 조카 바보.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
조카 바보.
Nephew or niece. They're both called 조카.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have gender distinctions there. So 조카 바보 or it's usually toward younger people. Like
right, yes.
younger generations.
Mm-hmm.
We don't say 아빠 바보, 엄마 바보. We don't.
Yeah.
Because no one is.
Oh, well, there's like mama boy.
Oh yeah, that's different. Though. Yeah,
It's
just
different, but-
mama boy and mother's,
Yeah.
mama's boy. It's just relying on that person. But
Yeah.
딸 바보, I love this term. I think I'm an 아들 바보.
Yeah, you seem like another bubble.
Yeah. So, and 아들 바보s and 딸 바보s, the typical trait is that they always talk about their son or daughter,
Right.
even though the other person has no interest whatsoever. They just. We have an expression in Korean, 입만 열면.
입만 열면.
Yeah.
If you just open your mouth.
That topic comes out. Yeah. 입만 열면 아들 이야기, 입만 열면 딸 이야기. You can't blame them though. Yeah.
I suppose not.
Yeah.
At least they're loving.
Yeah. And what's the difference between 같이 and 함께? So that's the question. 같이 and 함께. You see it right here at the bottom. 같이 and 함께. So they both mean together.
Yes.
But 함께 is more, it sounds and feels more poetic. If I say to Cassie, 같이 갈래요? Very normal, very natural. If I say 함께 갈래요? It sounds like propaganda or like a social campaign. 함께 하자,
Right.
It's more poetic, more written language. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you see it in many song lyrics,
Right.
many, poetic lines.
Yes.
Okay? All right. And I have a question here. H Faith 13 says, 선생님 요즘에 이름 옆에 찡 많이 들어 있어요. For example, 현우 찡. 찡 무슨 뜻이에요?
Isn't that 애교?
Yeah, 애교.
Yeah.
So 현우 찡, it's
Isn't it
supposed to be 현우 씨.
현우 씨, 현우 찡.
Yeah. And since kids talk like that, we say 혀가 짧다. Your
Right.
tongue is short. It just means your tongue is not as flexible.
Right.
I heard that I heard from our Mexican friend Christian Burgos. He said that even Mexican kids whose native language is Spanish, they can do the rolling R only when they're like over a certain age because it needs practice, like the r.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can't do that right away. It's just like that. Even with Korean pronunciations, Korean kids can't do everything right away.
Right.
So they talk like that. 찌,
찌.
or instead of saying she, they talk like that. So maybe mimicking children's speech
Yeah.
is more like 애교,
애교.
acting cute.
I hate 애교.
You hate 애교?
I hate 애교.
Luckily, there's no one in the office with any 애교.
Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a good thing, I guess.
Definitely.
All right, more questions coming in. And 문화 부도 저는 8월 12일에 한국에서 한국 사람이랑 결혼할 건데 올래요? Oh, wow, is this
Oh.
an invitation to your wedding? Congratulations.
Congratulations! Yay!
Yay.
Happy times.
We can't promise you.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
we are quite busy here.
Yeah, I mean, it's a Saturday. And
It
I
is a
actually
Saturday, yeah.
won't be in Seoul, I think. But congratulations.
Yes.
Very happy for you. And also, 한나, 결혼 축하드려요. I think she's Korean. 감사합니다. Thanks for joining the chat. Okay. Oh, Devin asks, how do I know if E in 의 should be pronounced as E or 에?
Ah.
Let me show you. Here at the bottom, E or 에. So you have and E. 의, like in doctor, 의사.
의사.
So sometimes it's because it's difficult to pronounce. Sometimes people say it as 이, sometimes people say it as 에.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't hear it pronounced as e as much. I mean, to the untrained ear, it might sound as e, but like you said, 의사. 의사 is doctor. Isa is to move. So you have to be kind of careful with that.
Yeah. I think with nouns though, it's more common to try to actually abide by that actual sound. So 의사, so 의자.
Right.
People do say 의자 to 의자.
의자.
People never say 이자.
Yeah.
And also when it's the possessive 의, of, which means of, like talk to me in Korean 의, people never say talk to me in Korean 이, it's always talk to me in Korean 에. So when it's the possessive 의, it's more commonly 에. Okay?
Right.
So 나의, for example, 소원, my wish. Elementary school student who stands up to read their own wish or wishes can say 나의 소원.
나의 소원.
나의. So yeah, when it's the possessive 의, it's more commonly 에. And sometimes, so it's somewhat arbitrary. It's random.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's one question here. Clarina Borges Gaiva Marino?
Okay.
What's the difference between, I think that's supposed to be 도시 and 시내? 도시 and 시내.
Okay. 도시 is
City.
city. 시내 is
Downtown.
yeah. That's the difference.
That's the difference.
도시.
City and downtown.
Yeah. And downtown. I think if you say downtown, every country and even in the United States, every state has different feels attached to it, different notions, I guess.
Yeah.
But in Korean, 시내 basically means downtown in general. But in Seoul, though, people rarely say 시내, at least not anymore, because there's so many downtowns.
Yeah, so many hot spots.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
But in Gwangju, where I'm from, the population is 1 million. And in Busan, it's a little different, but wherever the city is big enough to actually have a downtown, but not big enough to have multiple spots like for people to hang out, the 시내 is just one place. So growing up, when my parents would ask me 어디가 어디가니, or yeah, 어디 가냐, something like that. I'm trying to think in the dialect, but anyway, I would say 시내 가요, and they will all know where I was going. So it's usually the most downtown, most mainstream area for people to hang out in the city, 시내. But in Seoul, it makes no sense. You have to just specify which area you're going to.
Yeah.
Okay, hope that answers your question. And all right. Maria Castillo, ever since I heard how you can mispronounce coffee, and kopi, noseblood, I'm worried that I'm using the same pronunciation for both. Is there a trick to avoid that?
Well, we explained earlier about the difference between all and o. So focus on that pronunciation. When you want to say coffee, then say coffee.
Yeah, coffee.
And if you want to say nosebleed, then kopi.
Yeah.
Make that O with your mouth. Kopi.
Yeah, and even if you say copy, kind of close to the pronunciation of kopi, it's such a rare occasion that you would actually talk about noseblood. Yeah. So people will just understand it as copy.
As coffee.
Or you can simply say the English word in your Korean sentence. Some Korean people actually say coffee with the F sound, or cafe. Some people. So you can, and everybody will understand it. So don't worry about it. And okay, what is the difference between 어떻게 and 어떻게? So 어떻게 and 어떻게. I have to write it.
How to explain this?
Yeah, I have to write it somewhere. Okay. All right. I'll go on.
어떻게? 어떻게? I don't know how to explain this one.
My handwriting is terrible.
Terrible?
Yeah, very terrible. But
So 어떻게 is usually how, right?
Yeah.
어떻게.
Yeah.
But 어떻게, like that one.
Yeah.
어떻게
the-
and 어떻게.
Yeah. The first one is how,
Mhm.
and the second one is how. Why is it flipped? How 어떻게 plus 해.
Right.
So the second one 어떻게, like what should I do?
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, what should I do? And that's how plus do. How should I do it? So
Mhm.
it's a contraction,
Mhm.
not an original word that was originally like that. It's just a contraction. So 어떻게 and 어떻게. The problem is that the pronunciation is exactly the same. So a lot of native Korean speakers also mix these two up all the time. They say 어떻게 for 어떻게
Yeah.
and vice versa. So just you have to get used to the two different spellings.
Yeah. I actually just recently learned like when to use which one.
Yeah. Okay.
It's very confusing.
Yeah. So if you also have some culture-related questions, that's fine too, everyone. Please keep your Korean language questions coming as well. And all right, so many really interesting ones. I'm trying to find something that you guys can benefit from the most. All right,
Here's a question.
Okay.
Paulina DM asks, are 아주 and 너무 just synonyms?
아주 and 너무.
아주 and 너무.
Now they're synonyms, but we have an agency, National Institute of the Korean Language, 국립국어원. They're sort of the governing body, although they don't have a lot of governing power for the Korean language, and they can say, oh, this is actually the recognized, established usage of that word. They can say also, oh, this isn't wrong. So they can. They have some authority to say, oh, 너무, it should only be used as too much, excessively. So up until a few years ago, 너무 used to be just too much
Too much.
in the dictionaries, but people were using 너무 as very all the time. And so many scholars were saying it's wrong
Yeah.
to say too much for everything. Oh, 너무 귀여워. How can something be too cute?
Yeah.
Or you're exaggerating, blah, blah, blah. But then they said, 국립국어원, the National Institute of the Korean Language, they said, it's okay
It's okay.
to use,
So they've changed it.
너무 for very. So
Yes.
now they're synonyms.
Although if you watch like Korean news where they do interviews, a lot of times in the interview, if the person says 너무 something, they will replace it with like 정말.
Yeah. 정말 or 아주.
Or 아주.
Yeah, and that happens with many things, many other words as well. And I think we can categorize them as language purists. They want to keep the language pure. I think I'm one of them also.
Like grammar Nazis?
Yeah, grammar Nazis. Yeah, we don't have a similar term in Korean. But they just think, oh, no, this person shouldn't have said that, or this word shouldn't be allowed in the subtitles, so people just switch up what they said. But then 너무 is already a good word to use now. And very good question from Karen M. What's the meaning of these words? 매매, 월세, and 전세.
Where is it?
I think I saw it from an app used for finding apartments.
Aha.
So let's talk a little bit about the housing market here. So there are some apps now that you can use. Anybody can download those apps. Those apps are free to download, and you have like what apps there are?
직방?
직방,
다방?
다방, 한방, so and so 방, and something 방.
방.
You will see advertisements here and there all the time.
Yes.
And since these apps are primarily for Korean people, you will rarely see English translations. So hence the question here. I wish I could show you. Okay, where is it? So 매매, I'll just pronounce it. 매매 is selling.
Right.
And buying.
Buying and selling.
Yeah.
Like bartering.
Yeah,
Sort of.
it comes from Chinese, like my and my. So selling and buying. So that's that. And 월세 is rent.
Rent. Monthly rent.
Monthly rent. But the monthly rent system in Korea is different from like other countries because it's not purely the monthly rent that you have to worry about. Can you explain further?
There's also the key money,
Yes.
the 보증금. So you have to pay, it's like a security deposit. It's an upfront amount of money that you have to pay that the landlord will hold on to, and they usually invest it into something while you are living in the apartment. So usually most, especially in Seoul, the cheapest you're probably going to find is around like $5,000 for the key money.
Yeah, that's the minimum.
That's like the minimum.
That's the minimum, but easily when you're a family and you're looking for a 3-room apartment, I guess with underground parking lot and stuff, easily it can go up to $100,000 easily.
It's a lot.
Yeah, in Seoul, it's a lot of money that no one actually has in their bank account, just lying around not being used. So a lot of loan programs are there at banks, and so you just have to study all the different programs.
Right.
So you look at it, okay, monthly rent. Oh, I'll just pay. Oh, the monthly rent is $500 a month. Okay, I can afford it.
Yeah,
but,
easy.
Yeah, but what about the rest?
Yeah.
The $100,000 deposit that you have to just give to the landlord for 2 years. You will never touch it.
You cannot take that money out. You can't do anything with it.
Yeah, and this kind of system evolved because back when I was a kid, the interest rate, the base interest rate at banks were around $12. 12%.
Yeah.
You know, there's no such thing as a $12 interest, but 12%.
Yes.
So think about it. If you have $100,000 in your bank account, you're actually making $12,000 a year purely from interest. So you're actually making $1,000 per month just by having that money in the bank. So
it's like a part-time job.
It's like a part-time job. And back in the day, the prices were low. So the idea is you have a house, you rent it out, and you get that deposit money, put it in the bank, and you're just making money from that money tree. Yeah. And now it's changing because having the same amount of money in your bank account will only give you $300 a month or less, maybe $200. So people are kind of going toward getting less for deposit and charging more for rent. Yeah. Because that's the only thing that makes sense. So you can easily see apartments that are 85 square meters in Seoul, not even in like really the most expensive Gangnam areas. In Seoul, on average, you can see something like the deposit is 50 million won, which is something like 50,000 US dollars. Okay? Yeah, 50,000 US dollars. Yeah. And the rent is like $1,500 per month. Ugh. Easily. So yeah, it's changing a lot. So that's 월세. And 전세 is no monthly rent, just purely just giving the big deposit money to the landlord, and you can't touch it. You can get it back. It's protected by law. If the landlord for some reason goes bankrupt, the apartment will go on auction, and you have a chance to actually buy that house, buy the apartment for cheaper. So it's somewhat protected by law, so people have some confidence when they give out that much money. Yeah. Yeah, I hope that was it. Explanation.
This actually is not a question, but I have received a lot of questions via our email about this.
Okay.
So I want to touch on it. Zombie Chick 101 asks, I have your mobile app and some of your PDF for your podcasts are not available.
I see.
I want to explain this because we do not have an app.
Yeah. So none of the apps that are out there under the Talk to Me in Korean name are our apps. Yes. We're not saying that they're fake apps. They are apps made by third parties, other people. They have our permission to make those apps, at least the ones that I'm aware of. Yes. So they are either providing everything for free or charging a small fee for servers, and also so the Core Link is a free app made by our friend James, and he runs it with his own server, so sometimes some files are missing. We do plan to make an official app in the future, but we don't have it in the books yet. So yeah, we would recommend that you check out those apps, but yeah.
But be aware that we do not control them. So
Yeah.
if there's files missing or problems with them, you'll have to contact the developer directly, not us.
But all apps, I think they have some contact us feature there. I recently changed phones and I don't even have any of them on my phone yet. So yeah, that's a great question that you brought up and answered. Okay, and let's pick some other questions. Also, this is the second time that we're doing this, right, together since last week. What do you guys think? Should we continue doing this every week? Are you finding this useful, helpful, enjoyable to watch? Okay, let us know.
Yes.
All right.
I found another question.
Okay.
That's pretty good. Stephanie Garcia asks, how come some Koreans use 아니요 to say you're welcome?
They don't say 아니요. They say 아니에요.
아니에요.
Yeah, 아니에요. It's a standard way to say no worries.
Yeah.
Don't mention it.
Don't mention it. No big deal.
Yeah, 아니에요. 아니에요 literally means it's not something that you should thank me for. Yeah, 아니에요.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's similar to the English no problem.
No problem.
It's no problem.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I think I've mentioned it like a long time ago in a live stream, but one phrase that really, really boggled my mind when I went to the UK for the first time, it was London, the first foreign city that I traveled to where they speak English. Everywhere I go, I would say thank you, and they would all say no worries.
No worries. Yeah.
And none of the books that I had studied with had taught me no worries. It was all you're welcome.
You're welcome.
So I was like, I'm not worrying about you. What are you talking about? And everybody was saying no worries, no worries. I was like really stressed out because I didn't know because back then we didn't have like electronic dictionaries. So
no worries, mate.
Yeah, no worries.
That's more Australia. But.
Yeah. So a lot of people are saying that this is enjoyable, and Eva says yes, please do this every week, and thank you, we will.
Yeah.
All right, and Shadow Knight 82, Hyunwoo 씨, will you be making level 10 grammar curriculum podcast? Yes, we will. I'm sorry that there has been some delays. We have so much to produce.
Yes, a lot of stuff going on.
A lot of stuff going on. We already have level 10 lesson 1 out with Kyungwon, but we promise you will see something very soon, okay? Please, thank you for your patience with our grammar lessons, especially with level 10, all right? Did you find something?
Let's see.
Okay. Bianca Williams, can I answer this question? Yeah, Bianca Williams says, it went up.
It went up, oh no.
Hey, how can we talk in Korean without being so 존댓말 or so 반말? I'm trying to understand the question correctly. So you don't want to be too polite? You don't want to be too casual?
Oh, I understand this problem. I have this problem all the time,
really?
Actually.
Okay, please explain.
Because for me, I like to respect people unless they give me a reason not to respect them. So I usually try to use the polite forms, but I've actually had a lot of Koreans tell me, don't be so polite.
Yeah, I see.
Like, use 반말. So normally for this one, if you're not sure, just ask the person you're talking to. You know, should we continue speaking in 존댓말 or should we, speak 반말?
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way to know. There's not really an in between. So, I mean, I guess if you wanted to mix them.
Yeah.
But yeah, you gotta ask the person that you're talking to.
And if you can't ask the person that you're talking to, oops, I'm moving the screen. I'm trying to move the subscription alerts here. You just have to observe, and these are things that can't be taught in any textbook or by any teacher because there's a million scenarios. For example, I see young Korean people making this mistake all the time, like using too polite a form, talking about someone younger than the listener.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that, and even if nobody says that you're not supposed to do that, if you think about it, to the listener who is older, higher in social status, has no reason to feel honorific of the younger person that you are talking about. So, but before actually seeing the situation in action, you never know what on earth I'm talking about. So there are so many things like that. So you just have to put yourself in that situation and observe a lot of different scenarios. But if you're not sure, always go for the most polite form.
Yeah.
That's safe. Going for the 반말 form, it's very, very risky.
Yeah, unless you're like good friends, really good friends.
And also, if someone makes a pure, honest, like innocent mistake of using 반말 or 반말 phrase in front of someone, just because they are not, I mean, they're still learning, is this person listening still quite offended? And the answer is yes. They know deep down, okay, this person is learning, it's just an honest mistake, but then still they're hurt because it's their language.
Yeah.
Okay, so for example, you cursed in English by mistake, some kind of, magic, and then the other person is still somewhat affected, so always go for 존댓말, okay?
Yes.
All right.
Here's a question. Carrie Myers asks, how do you say whatever?
In Korean, whatever. Well, whatever can be translated into many ways.
Yes.
One way that I can think of right now is 됐어.
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 됐어 means it's been done, it's over. Forget about it.
Yeah.
So when someone says some random things, 됐어.
됐어.
됐어. I don't want to even talk with you anymore. Whatever. Or something like sounds like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You look like an expert at doing that.
Oh yeah. I do that all the time.
So yeah. Yeah, that's perfect, I think.
Actually, that sound, a lot of people in text now will use that, and it's literally, it's tet.
tet.
So it's like tiet, and then shiot.
Yeah.
tet.
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 And some people say chwet too.
Chwet. That's kind of like a stronger, like chwet.
Chwet, yeah. U, o, I, shiot.
Yes.
Chwet. Okay. All right. All right. Arts and Gaming asks, how do you teach Korean to an English-speaking child? Very interesting. I'm raising my son bilingually, so I should be able to share some tips in the future because I'm doing the opposite. Yeah, my son speaks Korean fluently as his mother tongue, and I'm also teaching him English. So there are some tips like you gotta find in terms of words you can't randomly just teach. Hey, you can't say, hey, sit down, let's learn numbers today. You can't do that.
Yeah.
Or hey, here are the 10 different color names in Korean. There you go. You can't do that. You just have to be there when the child finds an interest point.
Yes.
Like 무당벌레, like ladybug, or 도깨비, or what else? Something like that, like goblin or ghost. Yeah. Whatever the child wants to say or is impressive to the child, you just say, do you know how to say that in Korean? Do you know how to say that in English? And then the child will be fascinated by the word, and then they will remember it. And also, whenever they're feeling certain emotions, that's the perfect opportunity to teach it. Like the child is hungry, you can say 배고파, 배고파, and the child will be like, is he talking about being hungry? Yeah. And then they will pick it up, 배고파,
Yeah.
So
yeah, I've been a teacher for quite a while, and a lot of my students are under the age of 7. So I've had a lot of experience with this, and like you're saying, you have to find something they're interested in. If they're not interested in it, they will not retain the information.
Exactly.
So what I found is teaching through play is one of the most effective ways. So while you're playing, just speak in Korean.
Yeah, and this also applies to just education in general. Adults, or at least most adults, can think ahead of time and think about the future goals that they want to accomplish, and then they can actually endure all the sufferings that they have to go through, and they're like, oh, okay, I hate this, but I don't want to quit today. I will become a champion. I will actually achieve this, even though I have my back aches and my eyes hurt. They will just power through it.
Yes.
Kids can't do that.
Right.
They lack the long-term focus. So everything should be just fun.
Right.
Yeah. So learning or teaching through play. Okay. All right. Vonai Bar Chue or Bar Shu says, Hyunwoo, if I use ka for old news accidentally, will Koreans still understand? Ka for old news. I think if you are talking about ka and nin, the difference, yeah, they will still understand if you're talking about the subject marker. Okay?
Here's a question for me.
Okay.
So this is from Jude. She asks, how long did it take you to learn Korean? She says, I can make simple sentences, but when making complex sentences, it already confuses me. So if you're looking to be conversational, you want to hold everyday conversations and kind of carry out everyday tasks in Korean, I think that took me about 2 years. And I think for me to really be confident in speaking Korean like 90% of the time, it was probably around the 4-year mark. I think, although I probably could have gotten to that point sooner if I was a little more serious about my studies in the beginning. But yeah, I'd say around like 1 to 2 years, you should be comfortable with conversation if you're studying diligently.
Yeah. When you are talking with your friends, within the friend circle, or when you're talking about topics that are more abstract, some explanation-based conversations are easier to carry out. And when it's more about like emotions and like instant reactions here and there, you can't beat native speakers ever. But for about 1 or 2 years, if you study every day and if you learn the basic structures of the language, you can actually make sentences, pretty fluently. Okay, all right. Carly Figuera 대충 번역해 주세요. Okay. Yeah, if she's asking us to translate something, but just keep seeing this message, but I don't see what.
Maybe is she trying to ask what is 대충?
Maybe. Are you asking that? Let us know. And okay.
Should we explain 대충 anyways?
Yes, 대충.
So 대충 is kind of to do something not completely involved. So just do it. Just any which way. Just it doesn't matter. Just do it. Kind of 대충 해.
Yeah.
Just do it anyway.
It's related to doing something half-heartedly.
Right, half-heartedly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Or sometimes like quarter-heartedly.
Yeah.
There's such a thing.
It's like you don't have to be invested. So a lot of times you'll hear people, it's usually 대충 해, people say that. So instead of saying like 그냥 해, 그냥 해, some people say 대충 해, like when they're getting really upset because someone won't do something, they're just like 대충 해, like just do it.
Yeah, just do it. Don't have to be so meticulous. Just do it. 대충. And 대충 is also commonly put together like that. 대충.
Yeah, 대충.
대충 하지 마. Or don't just give it all. Don't do it like that half-heartedly.
Yeah.
Okay. And Unidia Astria says, do this live Q&A more often, please. We will do this every week, every Thursday. And we will do this, like we said last time, at different times of the day so that people from different countries can join us. And we will find the perfect time, like with the biggest attendance rate, and then we'll keep doing that there. Okay, and more questions?
Here's one. Saori H asks, how do you say, sorry, I don't speak Korean very well?
Okay.
So this in Korean is 죄송하지만 저는 한국말 잘 못해요.
Yeah. Well, this is tricky because a lot of people want to know I don't speak Korean that well. But the fact that you know how to say that might confuse a lot of people.
Yes.
Just not saying anything is the best thing that can tell the other person that you don't speak Korean.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like it's it's one of the most polite things to say. I don't speak Korean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't recommend learning that over something more important.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of times, some of my friends who don't speak much Korean will just say, 한국말 조금.
Yeah.
한국말 조금.
Yeah.
And like Korean little.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
saying that doesn't lead to any meaningful interactions.
Right.
It's just like, okay, yeah. Not like the person, the listener can't even say anything in Korean anymore.
Right.
Because of that, and also, yeah. So I don't recommend using that phrase.
Yeah.
At all. Okay, and also because it's different from really saying, I only speak a little bit. When you say, I speak a little bit, it means, okay, I speak a bit, so I want to communicate. Right? So yeah, another reason that I don't recommend using it. Okay. So we have these big question marks here. Korean consulate only endorses the works from Korean, the workbooks, Korean, a modern text for children abroad. They're not good, but my teacher will only use them. It's my only chance for Korean class. Is it worth it? I don't know about these books.
I've never heard of them. Yeah, I don't know.
So there are some government agencies that are being made in other countries, especially through 세종학당 and culture centers that are basically under the Ministry of Culture and also Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I don't know the basic, the essential structure of everything, but they're not allowed to use books from other places, I guess. They can have other reference books in their library, but of course, since it's a government project, they have their own teachers write their own books.
Right.
So they naturally want to use their own textbooks. So I understand that they don't want other books to be used. Yeah.
Right.
But you can still study with our stuff on your own, and we are actually working toward the goal of making our books available in public education facilities, because we really believe that our material is really, really good, better than most that are out there.
I would agree.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm not biased, I swear.
And recently, a university actually decided to use one of our books, News in Korean, as their textbook, as their official textbook in their Korean class. And last year, I think this was earlier this year, we went this close to having our Talk to Me in Korean level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, these grammar textbooks chosen as the official textbook for public middle schools and high schools in the United States. But we didn't make it through the final evaluation, but we will try again, and this will happen. So maybe in the future, maybe if 300 middle schools, 300 American high schools are using Talk to Me in Korean as their official textbooks, the Korean government will have to acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Okay, more questions?
I saw a ways back, who was it? Annie. She asks, what's the difference between 안 돼요 and 아니요?
안 돼요?
안 돼요, 아니요.
아니요.
So should I show you that, guys? Do you guys can see it?
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, 아니요 and 안 돼요.
There you go.
So 안 돼요 is like, you cannot do it. It cannot be done. Whereas 아니요 is just like no.
No,
Yeah.
or it's not.
It's not.
Yeah, 아니요.
Mhm.
Okay. And here, I found this question. So this is something basic. What is the order of the Korean alphabet? How do you look through words in the dictionary? We should totally make this. Do you
There's
sing?
A little bit.
Okay. So Cassie will actually create a song. You promise now. Okay?
Oh, okay. It's locked in, you guys.
Yes. We'll
Slave
make-
labor.
We'll make a video with Cassie singing the 가나다라 song.
Yes.
There's no official.
마바사.
Yeah, 가나다라 마바사 아자사 가타바. There's no official song, but you will make a song, right?
Oh, okay. I guess so.
Can you do that for us?
I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, do it for the live Q&A viewers. So 가나다라 마바사 아자차카타파하 is one of the first things that we learn. We don't have the convenient A, B, C, D, E, F, G kind of song for the Hangul letters, but I wish we did. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to...
Okay, you're giving me a choice?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but in Mission Impossible, Tom Cruise usually accepts the mission
Oh, okay.
because he's cool.
Oh, I
And
guess, yeah.
Since you're cool, you will do it. So...
Reverse psychology, is that what's going on here?
So-
Jedi mind tricks.
So yeah, 가나다라 마바사 아자차카 타파하. That's the order, and even up to elementary school, people just have to recital it.
To recite it, yeah.
Recite it in their head. Yeah, to actually see where a certain word is. Okay. Okay, so Matilda J asks, in the book Situational Dialogues, there's a scene where the bus driver gives a chance to a passenger using cash to pay the fee. Is it true that the bus driver in Korea have money to give change? Yes. It might disappear in the future, but since I guess as long as I can remember, it was always available, and now it is still available. You have only 1,000won bills or 만원 bills. Maybe not 만원 bills. They only have coin dispensers.
Yes.
So you gotta have the right note,
Yeah.
but they will give you back coin change.
You can use like the manon, but the bus driver will give you a really dirty look.
Or they will give you, so if the bus fare is 1,200 won, they will actually give you 8,800 won in coins.
Yeah.
It has happened to
Yeah,
many
they will give it to you. They will give it to you in coins, and they'll give you a dirty look at the same time.
Yeah, and because they have to give you.
Yeah, they have to.
There, like in the past, there were cases where the bus driver assumed more authority than they actually did have, and they were like, "Get out of my bus," or "Get off my bus. I don't want to accept you." But these days, all buses have security cams,
Right.
and there's no way they can actually reject a customer. You know, if they do that, they will be in trouble. So they have to cater to your needs.
Yes. Here's a question from Diana Cervantes. She asks, "Is there a word for a sister or brother my same age? I ask because I have a twin sister."
Okay, that question again?
Did we answer that one?
No. No, I mean, the question, what was it again?
Oh, the question again.
I was
Okay.
confused.
I'm sorry. Is there a word for sister or brother that's my same age? So there's like 언니 and 오빠 and 동생.
For
but
twins.
For same age.
I think we still say 언니 or 오빠.
Right. Even if it's only a few minutes.
Yeah, so the person who was born first, who came out of their mother's body first, is 언니 or 오빠,
Yes.
or 형 or 누나. I heard that in other countries it's the opposite. What is it like in the US? So twins, if someone is born first, is the baby older or younger?
They're older, yes.
Older, okay.
It's
So,
the same.
yeah, I heard that in some countries, since technically I don't know, like I heard that it's the opposite, but in Korea at least,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
whoever is
so-
born first is older.
I don't know if any of you watched the show 슈퍼맨이 돌아왔다?
Yeah, 슈퍼맨이 돌아왔다.
Yeah.
슈돌 for sure.
Yeah. So Superman came back or something. It's like Super Dad or something. I forget the English
Superman
title of
Returns.
Right, Superman Returns. That's what it's called.
Yeah, from the movie.
Yeah. And in there's actually several sets of twins and triplets. And you'll actually see them running around going, 형, 누나.
Yeah.
Talking to each other like that. It's adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like only a few minutes difference between them, but they will differentiate.
Yeah. Or to clarify, they say 쌍둥이 형.
쌍둥이 형. 쌍둥이 is twin.
Yes, twin. 쌍둥이 형, 쌍둥이 동생. And it's just fascinating. The 형, I'm somewhat critical of the culture, 형, 누나, 언니, 동생 culture, in a broader sense. But just, I don't know, from day one, you're categorized as 동생.
Yeah.
And you're not allowed to call your 형 by their first name.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, so it's just always 형. Okay? All right. So, Curly asks, 한국 사람에게 영어 어떤 방법으로 가르치면 좋을까요? 대화만 나누면 좋을 건지, 문법 설명하면 좋을 건지 어떻게 생각하시나요? So, how to teach Korean friends English? I think, again, like we said, there are no best methods, but the way to teach Korean people English and the way to teach, I guess, other people Korean can be very different.
Yes.
Because Korean people's starting point is just very, very, very different from the starting point of most Korean learners around the world. Because they, whether they like it or not, or want it or not, or whether they actually studied hard or not, they basically start with up to 12 years of English education. When they say, oh, I don't speak any English, I want to learn to speak English, they've already taken up to 12 years of English classes.
Yes.
So they know all these grammar terms and things like that. So that's why I think it's more ideal to focus on speech and fix grammar points that are wrong. Whereas when you're learning Korean for the first time, you probably have no prior knowledge. So that's why we focus on grammar.
Yes.
Okay.
Here's a question I actually want to know as well.
Okay.
Kelsey Babe P asks, how do you sing in Korean without words? So I'm guessing what's the word for singing in Korean without words? So like la 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 la.
Oh.
Is there a word for that?
No.
There's no word for it?
Sing without words? Like humming?
Like humming?
Yeah, we say 콧노래.
콧노래.
Yeah.
Is humming.
Nose singing.
Nose singing.
Yeah. 콧노래.
콧노래.
Yeah.
There's an English word for this, and I forget what it was now. I've forgotten English, you guys.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, there actually is a word for it. I guess maybe she's also asking, is there like a normal, because like in English, if we're singing without words, we usually think la 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 la, like those syllables, la 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 la.
Okay.
Is there something like that in Korean?
La 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 la.
Is it the same? Is it la la la
La la la or na 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 na.
Na 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 na.
Yeah, I think
Na, 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 na.
the consonant nian is very frequently used. Yeah.
Na.
Yeah, I think
Na,
I
na,
can
na, na.
safely say that. Not like na 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 na.
No. Mine.
Yeah. Okay, Saori asks, how do you say let's hang out in Korean?
Let's hang out. 놀자.
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 Yeah, in casual language, 반말, let's hang out. 놀자. 만나서 놀자. Or 만나자 even.
만나자 also
만나자.
works. 만나자, 놀자.
Or 얼굴 보자.
Right.
Let's see each other's face.
Yes.
Or let's hang out in 존댓말. People say other things like 식사 한번 해요.
Right.
Let's meet for a meal. 커피 한잔 해요. Let's
한잔.
meet for a cup of coffee.
And if you say just 한잔 해요, it means like let's have one glass. It usually means
Let's
go drinking.
Yeah.
To go drinking.
but never 한 잔.
It's never one.
Yeah.
It's never one.
So hang out is also an interesting concept. Most Korean people who are learning English, they find hang out really interesting because hang out can be so many different things.
Mhm.
So yeah, in Korean, naturally, you have other equivalents.
Mhm.
Okay, and then Hwan So-chun asks you, Cassie, when you were first learning Korean, what did you think about adjectives and verbs being used the same way in terms of conjugation?
Adjectives and verbs being used the same way.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. Think about your answer.
Yes.
But I want to mention that you know the channel Jolie, run by Josh and Ollie from the Korean Englishman channel.
Mhm.
They're using our books we sent them a bunch of our books so that they can use the books potentially for
Mhm.
their videos, and then they're actually having Ollie learn.
Mhm.
And then in the episode where Josh was teaching Ollie this,
Oh yeah.
this concept of adjectives actually being descriptive verbs.
Mhm.
So many Koreans were like discussing this in the comments, saying, "No, you're not wrong. Yes, that's right." People were just dumbfounded, like they were, mind boggled. What do they even mean? So I wanted to kind of jump into the comments and tell everybody about it, but I couldn't.
Here's your stage.
Yeah,
Do
yeah.
it.
So the terms are different. That's the problem.
Mhm.
We have 용언 and other things like, so anyway, our grammar terms are not about the functions.
Mhm.
I mean, they're about functions, but they're also about the meaning.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but in English, if you say to be pretty,
Uh-huh.
예쁘다,
Uh-huh.
that's absolutely a verb.
Yeah.
예쁘다, because it conjugates like a verb, looks like a verb, sounds like a verb, and it acts like a verb.
Mhm.
So that's what we mean in the textbook. Okay, so you are right. Korean adjectives actually act like descriptive verbs, and every verb in the Korean language also has their adjective form.
Mhm.
So do, the adjective form can be done.
Right.
하다, 한. Or 할, future adjective.
Mm.
So
To be done.
it's tricky, but then people were thinking, okay, verbs? No, they're not verbs. They're adjectives. So people were just mixing the different concepts in one place in their head.
Mm.
So what was your impression?
I don't know. It wasn't that difficult for me, I think. I might have been like, oh, that's odd at first, but just knowing that it's a different language and it works differently than English, I just kind of looked at it as this very completely new thing and just approached it that way, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I still sometimes have trouble with like conjugations and things because like the han and hanen, that sort of thing, still is a little bit confusing. I've kind of got the hang of it now, but there's times where I still use the wrong one.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
So, great answer. Just consider it as is.
As is.
Yeah.
It's its own thing.
Yeah, it's its own thing. Okay, where can we watch animations with Korean subtitles? Could you recommend us some sites? I don't.
Animations with Korean subtitles.
Yeah, I don't know any. Children's shows typically don't have any subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my son watches a few, and there are no subtitles necessary.
Mm-hmm. I thought of one. EBS. If you can, I think it's EBSE, the English channel. They play actually a lot of animations. They'll play it in English, and then they'll play it in Korean, and they usually have subtitles. I think on both in Korean.
Okay, yeah. Tune into EBS.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. EBS is one of the TV stations in Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And all right, I have some questions here. Eva asks to me, what were the weirdest or most interesting things about learning English? What was the hardest or farthest away from English? Do you understand the second part of the question? What was the hardest or furthest away from English?
What was the hardest? I'm guessing what's the hardest part of English, of learning English? Or maybe furthest away from Korean is maybe what
Yeah. So the weirdest, the most interesting thing about learning English, I don't know, I have to think about it. I'm just so used to it now.
Right.
Yeah, I just have to.
It's like trying to think back to your elementary school days, right?
Not even elementary school, high school actually, because that's when I first started actually learning. But I think pronunciation, English pronunciation is so random.
Right.
It's because of its history. It has words taken from German, Latin, French, Greek, Spanish,
Japanese.
Jap-
Even Japanese, like
Really?
a lot of like tsunami and stuff.
Yeah. Those are of
Sushi
course
things.
easier for me because
Yeah.
Japanese is super easy for me for most Koreans when they learn. But yeah, like pronunciation was just random. German words, French words, Spanish words, they're so reliable. You can actually look at something and read it correctly most of the time. Korean words too, but then English words, it's just crazy. So
Tomato.
yeah, tomato, and other things too. Also, yeah, I would say that. Okay. About the second part of the question, please ask me again. I want to understand it better.
Here's a question from Owe Dawn 76. When writing a fan letter to a K-pop group, is it best to write using formal language even though I am older than the group members?
Yes, it's much better. And we actually have an ebook called Fan Letter Recipe.
Yes.
And it's very self-explanatory what it actually does. So you can combine certain elements from the ebook and actually form a good-looking, like heartwarming fan letter. So check it out. Yeah, you can see that on our site. Fan letter recipe.
Yes.
Yeah, recipes. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we will probably answer a couple more questions and go. And if you have any suggestions in terms of what you want us to do in the future, please let us know. We're trying various types of contents, and also we are going to be publishing many books this year. And like yesterday, we published this video, Must Know Words in Korean Types of Rooms, featuring Juyeon. And that's a good example of something new. Like we had this mini me Juyeon floating around somebody's house.
Yes.
It's not even her house.
It's not even hers.
Dodu, yeah, thief. But yeah, I mean, it was her idea. She edited the whole thing. Our designer intern, Javesia, created the beautiful illustration in the book, in the video. And then it was just, a lot of people were saying that the new attempt was really good.
Oh.
So we will try new things. So if you have any questions or suggestions, please always let us know. Okay?
Here's a question.
Okay.
Very, very quick and simple one. Quiet is 76. What's the difference between 아니요 and 아니야? It's the formality levels. So 아니요 is formal, 아니야 is informal.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the only difference. Okay, to Cassie, Julia says, and then the message will probably continue.
It's not there yet.
It's not there yet. And message retracted. Julia doesn't want to talk to you anymore.
Message retracted.
I've never seen anything like this before.
Aww.
Okay. Diana Cervantes, before you go, Hyunwoo, please speak Spanish, at least a little bit. Thank you so much for this live show. What should I say?
Aprendo español.
Yeah, you're learning.
I am.
Yeah, aprendiendo español. No sé qué decir, pero sí, puedo hablar más español si posible, si es posible. Yo sé que hay mucha gente que habla español y también están aprendiendo el coreano. Entonces, muchas gracias por estudiar el coreano con nuestras lesiones. That's it. So,
I want to speak Spanish.
It's random. I have no context, so I just said just general things. But I really love learning languages. So whenever I get the chance, I just want to exploit the friend that I'm with their language skills.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Oh, there's Julia. Julia came back up to Cassie again.
Again.
What was it say? Sorry.
The biggest personality difference between Koreans and Americans.
Aha.
So that'll be our last question to
Alright.
answer. And if you have other questions, please keep your questions and save your questions and ask us again, or tweet us at TTMIK, twitter.com/TTMIK. Follow us there. We post content regularly there. So the last question of the day is personality differences.
Biggest personality, the biggest. Okay, that's going to be really hard because there's so many differences, really. One thing that popped into my mind is I feel like Koreans are a little bit more indirect about things.
Okay.
Whereas Americans tend to be very blunt. If there's something that they don't really like, they'll just go out and tell you, hey, I don't like that. But I feel like Koreans kind of beat around the bush a little bit. Like
A little bit?
Maybe a little bit more than a little bit. Yeah, they'll kind of like tiptoe around the actual issue.
Yeah.
But still try and get the results, I guess.
Let me show you a picture that I took the other day. I think I can share it with everyone here. So it's a picture at a zoo, okay? I have it right here because I took it just a couple of days ago. Where is it?
Did you go with Jun?
Yeah, I went with my son Jun, and the message is saying this, okay? So 주렁숲 is basically the name of the zoo that we went to, and 유모차, the first word, 유모차 is a baby stroller. 주렁숲 내에, inside the zoo, 반입 is bringing it in, and they say 어렵습니다. Okay, I get it. It's hard. It's difficult. What does it even mean? That is the least favorite Korean expression that exists in the language that I really don't want to use.
Yeah. It literally means it's difficult to bring in a baby stroller into this zoo, into the name of the zoo.
If I say, oh, can I at least try?
Yeah, it's like, can I at least, no, you can't even try.
So,
they're saying it's not allowed, but they're like tiptoeing around it, being very careful with the way they say it.
Yeah, like saying, oh, it's difficult.
Yeah.
They're not giving you a straight no.
Yeah.
Then that can cause a lot of confusion between different cultures. Imagine the president of this country saying, oh, sending you that document will be difficult. What does it even mean?
It's also one of the things that really bothered me is like when you're eating, especially if like you're dating someone and you're meeting their parents, especially their mother will often be like, 더 먹어, eat more, eat more. It's like, I don't want to eat more, but it like you kind of gotta very carefully refuse it.
Yeah.
And then on the opposite end of that, I found that you have to ask at least 3 times, no matter what it is. You have to ask at least 3 times before you'll get the real answer. So if you ask someone, "Do you want to go to the movies with me?" and they say, "No, I don't really want to go." But then you have to ask again, and then like on the 3rd time they'll be like, "Yeah, actually, I really did want to go the whole time." I was just
They're, I guess, a lot. Not everybody, but a lot of people are actually quite shy, and they don't want to. They're not used to telling everyone what they really want. Maybe the way they were brought up, or maybe the way the society works. It's just very different. I was kind of about to disagree with you when you said that Koreans are indirect, because they can be direct about like, oh, you lost weight, you put on weight, you look you look fat, things like that. They are very direct when they talk about appearance, how you should look and things like that. But other things can be very indirect, like the picture that I showed you, 어렵습니다. You shouldn't say 어렵습니다. It's not a matter of easy or difficult. It's possible, not possible, allowed, not allowed. So you see this all the time in public announcements. Like really indirect. You just have to guess, read between the lines.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess that's one big personality difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any more differences?
I could probably write a whole book on
Do that.
I probably should, yeah.
How Koreans and Americans...
Talk to me in Korean. What to expect.
Yeah. I mean, of course, since we're teaching the language, we don't want to discourage you from living in Korea or learning the Korean language and eventually come to Korea. But it's good to know the dark sides of a culture, and every culture has them.
Well, I suppose I should also put in some of the positives
Okay.
before we go, because it's not just negatives. I think it's human nature to focus on the negative, though.
Yeah.
But one positive is I feel like Koreans are very, very caring, or at least they're a little more open about their caringness, which is kind of strange, because they tiptoe around a lot of other things, but when it comes to caring, they're pretty forward about it. Whereas I feel like Americans will kind of like hide their emotions about, caring.
Yeah. I mean, individualism, is there a term like that?
Individuality.
Individuality? Or
individualism.
I think that's what I was trying to say. Individualism is becoming more mainstream in Korea. I don't know if it's Western influence or just the society, but still it's less prevalent. So people always try to look after each other.
Right.
Some people don't like that, but most people take it for granted.
Yeah.
But yeah, so ask 3 times. And what else? 어렵습니다. When somebody says that, it means no, you dare not do that. Okay?
Yes.
So thank you for joining. I'm going to press this stop streaming button and the stream will go offline.
Yes.
And thank you so much for
you
joining
so
us.
much.
And sorry about all the other questions that we could not answer this time.
Yeah.
All
See you
right,
next
guys.
time.
See you next week. Okay,
Next week
and
on
please,
Thursday.
please check our Instagram account for time information.
Yes.
Bye bye.
Bye.